Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and I have a review for you. This is from a book that released actually last week, and my LCS got copies of it, and they were all damaged, so I had to get it from another LCS, and I got it this week. But this is the review to Ed Piskor's Red Room, issue number 4. Huge disclaimer: if you were not if you were bothered by graphic images and graphic stories or anything of that nature, this is probably not the story for you. It is very graphic. I wouldn't say it's, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most graphic. I put it at like a 7 or an 8. It's not as graphic as people would want to put it out there. I think the people that really say it's really graphic, they're just not used to gore, on an extreme level. But for the apt person, or it could be extremely gory. I would like to say that the way it's drawn, though, it has kind of a comedic way that he does the faces and stuff like that, and it kind of, I wouldn't say takes away from the gore, but it just, it has a different feel to it, I would say. Now, this is the 4th issue and the last issue in this arc. But to read this whole story, there is 5 issues in the series, starting out with the 1st issue. 2nd issue, I got a variant. 3rd issue, of course, another variant. And the in-between, this is the free comic book day that came out recently, about a month ago or something like that. And then the 4th issue. Overall, it's just a collection of short stories, each one being a little different, all surrounding the Red Room, which is basically it's the room that's on the dark web. It's a bunch of snuff films, and it is run by different entities that are competing against each other, just trying to make as much cryptocurrency as they can. In this story, we get kind of a different, and each one has been a little different. We get like I want to say the 1st issue is about one of the stars of the Red Rooms becoming like a star. Another one was about the creator of some of the coding used for Red Room. This one is kind of the total difference. Another thing that I've heard that people say is a black and white comic. It is not a black and white comic. I can prove it real quick. It's not even done on white paper. It's actually done on like this kind of manila coloring, I would say. But as you can see, there is color in the comic. It's just it's not used as much. It does have a black and white feel to it, but there is color. You just have to look for it. There's some blues, some browns, some oranges. So anyways, this is written and drawn by Ed Piskor. And we are with the cryptocurrency cryptocurrency keeper, and he's basically telling the story about one of the victims of the Red Room, and specifically kind of the origin story to Donna the Butcher, one of the first kind of snuff film stars from the Red Room origins kind of thing. It's stated that she started around the VHS times, before the internet got started with the dark web, so she's kind of like one of the pioneers. But we just basically learned this story about this girl who was a victim of this Donna Butcher, and basically her father got killed by this lady, and normally these things were kept completely secret, and some boob ended up messing up, and the tape got leaked, so the whole world saw this tape. She ended up getting caught, but the victim was identified, and of course, after the case went to trial and this and that, and all the guilty parties went to jail, there was a retribution act set up for the daughter of the victim, and she kind of explains that she is wealthy beyond means, because every time somebody views this tape that is now widely accessible, there's a check that has to be written in her account or something like that. So she gets stashes of money daily, but she goes into how the rest of her life has been this revenge plot on basically, she becomes a tattooist. She tattoos for free, and basically it's gaining knowledge on anybody attached to the Red Room, so she can find this Donna Butcher and where she is. The rest of her plan is basically, you know, and I'll show you some of, but they show you like the original VHS tape, and that's her father being murdered by Donna Butcher. Um, but they go into more of her plan and plot, like how far she went um, to locate Donna Butcher, and eventually she does track her down in a prison. Um, she does some kind of crazy wild things trying to get captured to end up in the same prison, involving like tax evasion, um, like, you know, going to red rooms on the dark web, but then stating her IP address so the FBI could find her. And eventually it's like this year of a waiting game, and eventually she does get caught by the FBI, and they kind of they do lock her up in the prison, and once she gets locked up, they take a break in the story, and you know, the cryptocurrency keeper kind of tells you the origin story of Donna the Butcher, and it basically just starts on, you know, Donna Butcher from when she was a little kid, and basically stating that she was very, you know, similar origin story to most of the serial killers we know nowadays. She started out being violent. She took her aggression out on animals. After that, it was kind of a, you know, a training type of thing. She kind of knew that she was going to grow up wanting to kill once she did kill, and basically trying to join the army and stuff like that, because she would be allowed to kill, you know, without getting in trouble. But one thing led to another, and she failed the psych evaluation at the army, and eventually had to, you know, do other things in life, and she basically became a porn star, and through the porn star industry back in the like 70s or something like that, eventually the mob getting involved with it, and one thing led to another. But basically the mob started making snuff films, you know, using the porn stars, and specifically Donna Butcher, and we lead up into that famous video of Donna killing, you know, our main character's dad, and basically stating that the mob kind of messed up involving her, not knowing that she was a secret serial killer, and she basically killed all the mob members attached to it, and basically ran like a snuff, you know, underground snuff ring for about like maybe 10 years, and eventually, because of that one person's mistake, got caught and ended up in jail, and now is like this TMZ icon that, you know, gets interviewed, and you know, everybody knows her. But they do show Donna Butcher you know, in the now present form, and she has not aged well at all, and she's kind of like this prison's kingpin. You know, everybody kind of knows who she is, and she kind of runs everything. But we finally do get back to the main story, and we catch up with our main character, who's hatched this revenge plan, and basically we finally find out, kind of like her plan's kind of obvious. She's tattooing Donna, and she basically, in the same fashion that her dad was killed, and I'm assuming it looks like she pours acid on her, and then after that, you know, to make sure she's dead, she takes that broom and just, you know, stabs her, and then kind of after that, kind of goes all snuff filmy on her in retribution for her dad, but, you know, and kind of starts slicing and dicing on Donna. The cops do rush in, and they you know, see her with the weapons and what she's done with Donna, and instantly blast her to death. They do show, you know, that some of the officers, that some of the other prisoners were recording this, and secretly they kind of show some snapshots, but they do show that the officers managed to recover some of the evidence, and it is shown later on that they did secretly get in contact with our main Red Room people that we have met in previous issues, but that they basically sold that video footage, and we find that the Red Room, you know, side of the dealing basically had the people killed off who sold them. So those cops who thought they were going to make some money off that snuff footage, you know, that they didn't make any money. They got killed. But that is where this issue leaves off, you know, kind of stating, kind of laughing at you at the end, you know, you reading the comic, and you know, them laughing at you, stating something like, I hope you didn't expect a pleasant ending, that kind of thing. And when you read this, you kind of, you know, see that coming. In my way of thinking, it did have a great ending. You know, the girl did get her revenge. She kind of had stated out, yeah, she didn't make it past then, but she completed what she set out to do, right? There is a great, you know, kind of editor's notes at the end. That Piskor, you know, he kind of tells you his idea behind Red Room, because I'm pretty sure he's got a lot of hate and that kind of stuff. Even though it is, I mean, if you look at it from what it is, yes, you know, it's probably not for everybody. But if you actually read it and just ignore all the gore that's in it, it's actually a real well written, you know, decisive story plot. That, I mean, you talk about taking short stories that have nothing to do with each other but still combining them in the same universe is very, very interesting, and I don't think it's ever been done before, kind of like that. We have books and movies and stuff like that that have a shared universe. This is a little different. It's in the same universe, I'd say that, but directly in the same world, kind of thing. But that is my review on Ed Piskor's Red Room, issue number 4. I have reviewed each one of these, including the free Comic Day version, so if you're interested in those, just go a couple weeks back, or a couple more weeks back, and check out those videos. But I have more reviews coming. That's the first one out of my single reviews. I've already put out another review. I have more coming. So stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your grandma about me. I'm pretty sure she wants some story time from Evil Mike. You know, don't tell your grandma about me. I mean, you go ahead and do what you want to do. You know, y'all have a good one. I'll see you in a little bit. Just be good.